want to take a closer look at the verses themselves and how they describe this subject. And we want to see whether or not this actually accurately describes Jesus. So in Isaiah 52 verse 14 it says, "Surely his visage was marred more than any man, and his form more than the sons of men." And similarly in Isaiah 53 verse 2 it says, "He had no form nor comeliness that we should look upon him, nor beauty that we should delight in him." In other words, it's describing somebody that is so ugly, so disfigured, that it's difficult to look at him. That person hides their face and says, "I don't want to look at such a face." Now the question is, was Jesus hard to look at? Well, the real answer is, we don't know. Right? We don't have any pictures of Jesus. But if it counts for anything, how is Jesus portrayed in Christian art throughout the ages? Well, I've brought down here two pictures, but he doesn't look like someone that's hard to look at or disfigured. On the contrary, he looks like a beautiful man. Moving on, we look at Isaiah 53 verse 3, and this is more serious. It says, "He was despised and forsaken of men, a man of pains and acquainted with disease, as one from whom men hide their faces. He was despised and we esteemed him not." In other words, what's being described over here is somebody who is roundly despised and rejected. Somebody who people hide their faces from, people run away from him, and in general, he's somebody that is, again, as I mentioned, despised. Is that what we know about Jesus? So let's look in Luke chapter 2, verse 52. It says, "And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man." In other words, he became very popular. We know that the Gospels tell about all the miracles and all his preachings and healings. That made him so immensely popular that droves of people were coming to find him from all over. In Luke chapter 4 verse 14, "And Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit and into Galilee, and a report went out throughout all the neighborhood concerning him. And he taught in the synagogues, being glorified by all." And then again, if you look also in Mark chapter 3 verse 7 through 9, where it talks about how they had to have a boat ready to take him away because the crowds were crushing him. It was too much. It was unbearable. Does that describe somebody who's roundly rejected? Now, it is true that according to the records of the Gospels, at the end of Jesus' life, there was maybe a courtyard full of people that were calling for him to be crucified. However, we all have our group of enemies. We all have people who don't like us and wish to persecute us. However, when we talk about somebody that is going to be identified exclusively as being roundly rejected and despised, we mean something more than the ordinary. So Jesus had his opposers, we all do. But Jesus, at least according to the New Testament, is not somebody that we would characterize as somebody who is roundly despised and rejected.